everybody. This is the Freeman Mastermind show. Today, I am your host, Adam Wins, and we're gonna go over some things. I think, wow, we have a special guest with us. We have Bo here. How you doing, Bo?
Hi, Adam.
How you doing,
Good.
special guest? How's it going? Haven't seen you in
Wonderful.
a while. How you been doing?
Fantastic.
Good,
Spectacular, brother.
good. Got a lot of things going on, bro. A
I
lot of things
do.
going on.
I do. Well, we all do right now. I mean, tis the season, I guess. Oh my goodness.
I don't know.
Let me
It's
tell you.
something.
Yeah,
I
definitely
think
something.
what's going on today is well, I'm gonna cut to it, and Russia just passed the Clarity Act, officially signing a crypto market structure bill into law. So
Really?
Putin just beat Trump to the punch of making clarity in our investments in this world, right?
Yep.
And it's quite amazing considering what Trump has done. Now, I'm not making any accusations here, but you know, maybe maybe we should
from this crypto venture, and investors lost.
maybe we should bring this
The
back
Trumps
down.
earned $2.3 billion from.
So the Trumps earned $2.3 billion from crypto, from the Trump coin,
Yep.
and for Trump's to win, that means the investors lost. So all of us that bet on Trump
Hmm.
lost $2.3 billion.
This crypto venture, and investors lost $2.3 billion. They are thieves. For as much as Donald Trump loves to call Democrats and people like me and you.
I'm not a Democrat, so stop yourself right there. Okay. But just because he's not the same, well, I'm not a Democrat or you're not a Democrat, it doesn't mean that what he's saying is entirely false,
Right.
because it is entirely true. And it's really disappointing, that we all thought it was something more than a rug pull, a meme coin, but it wasn't, you know? I guess he could do the same slogan he did before, like, oh, just wait for it. Like, it's coming eventually. Like, never. But,
Hmm.
it turns out
Radical left
it's
scum.
it's pretty much,
They
I
are the
agree with that.
scum.
Yep.
They are robbing Americans of their treasure. People who work tirelessly at their jobs to scratch together a little bit of savings in hopes that they can invest it and have that grow into something for their future. And Donald Trump has taken $2.3 billion of.
Yeah, that's pretty not okay. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah.
And
Something was supposed to happen July 29th. A lot of people talking about it. A lot of crypto spaces, the whole thing, July 29th. That was it. And
yeah,
then,
what was supposed to happen is the Clarity Act. But what didn't
right,
happen is Russia beat us to the Clarity Act.
right.
So they're establishing, Bo knows a lot about international deals now. He's been learning a lot.
I
And
have been.
international deals, there's different currencies that people like.
Yep.
Sometimes it's hard to get money from one place to another. Cryptocurrency is incredibly valuable. Okay. Bitcoin is incredibly valuable. Stable coins are incredibly valuable. Having clarity, you know who it benefits, Bo? Guess who it benefits?
Who does it benefit?
Oh, I don't know if you heard about the recent hack in Cold Card. So AI was used to extrapolate about $85 million from a wallet, a bank, right? A wallet is
Huh.
basically a bank where you hold your cryptocurrency.
Yep.
They said it was a coding error. And Fight Back Podcast states that he is frantically trying to hide the fact that he is Jewish.
Who's Jewish?
The owner of Cold Card, where $85 million just
Ah,
disappeared from. Now,
right.
why does any of this matter? Well, Cold Card just happens to be a private wallet. So maybe, just maybe, there's some people, and they might just be this word down here. He is ish. They just might be that they're wanting people to put their crypto onto public wallets and public chains.
Hmm.
Why is that? Because public wallets and public chains are seizable by Caesar, right? Like if you actually made a Clarity Act, like here's what the law says. No, 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 no. We'd rather not tell you the law. So if we don't like what you're doing or we want to come after you, we can come after you. So you got to read between the lines on these things. The hack that happened wasn't an accident. It was very beneficial to certain Caesar entities, right?
Mm. Yep.
And you know, this still
Robbed them blind. The American
it still happened, right?
while
It just
MAGA
absolutely
worships him.
just absolutely happened. And you know, it's really depravity in our culture that there's intentionally no clarity. I don't know. Do you remember a guy named James Trafficant? Do you remember James Trafficant, Bo? Bo can't hear me. Are you there, Bo?
I'm here.
Okay. Do you
Yep.
remember James Trafficant?
You know what? I do not.
Okay, again, I'm going to sound like a Democrat here, but I'm not. But he was actually a U.S. congressman from Ohio. He was a Democrat, okay?
Yep.
Now, I'm going to play another video here, okay? And then I'm going to run the full circle so we can go back to where we started so everybody gets the point, okay?
We are here now in Chapter 11. Members of Congress are official trustees presiding over the greatest reorganization of any bankrupt entity in world history, the U.S.
Wow.
government. We are setting forth, hopefully, a blueprint for our future. There are some that say it's a coroner's report that will lead to our demise. I'm going to support the rule. I'm not sure yet if I will support this budget.
Now,
Wow.
why is that important? Because he clearly put it onto the congressional record who the trustees are, that
Right.
the United States is in bankruptcy. There were no objections. But there's something a little bit more telling that I've got to show you. After Mr. Trafficant did this, I don't know if you can see this,
We can see it.
but yeah, he was expelled from the House on July 24th, 2002, after being convicted of 10 felony counts, including taking bribes, filing false tax returns, racketeering, forcing congressional staff to perform chores at his farm, and a houseboat in Washington, D.C. He was sentenced
Wow.
to prison and released in 2009 after serving a 7-year sentence. So this farmer from Youngstown, after he said those, I would almost say, fateful words,
Ohio is recognized for 5 minutes without objection.
We are here now in Chapter 11. Members of Congress are official trustees presiding over the greatest reorganization of any bankrupt entity in world history, the U.S. government. We are setting forth, hopefully, a blueprint for our future. There are some that say it's a coroner's report that will lead to our demise.
and apparently the only demise it led to was his
Wow.
own, because he was then convicted. I mean, he was a Democrat, so we can't hold, you know, everything against him or what have you, but like that whole thing there is quite problematic, right? it's beyond. I don't know, Bo. I keep losing you, Bo.
Yeah, every time we get a video and we come back, I get booted.
Oh wow. So I'll
It's
try
okay.
to do that a little bit less. But the whole point or the moral of the story here is we've got to really explore and really look into what's going on. You know, if Russia is beating us at the crypto game, if America is bankrupt, if the guy that tells us America is bankrupt goes to jail for 7 years for being a congressman, for having his staff do chores while they were at his farm, you know, I mean, do you really think that this guy is like, hey, go and do chores at my farm? Like, I mean, it's pretty preposterous that, you know, anything like that would happen. So, I know you've been busy, Bo, and we've been
Yep.
doing a lot of work on. So that's really all I have for crypto today. I mean, Putin beat us to the punch.
Right.
Uh, you know, the Trump organization. Um,
Well, I would say don't overlook crypto.
oh,
Uh,
crypto's amazing, but
oh yeah, crypto is the wave of the future. Right now, there's a lot of warfare uh, in regards to what's going on with crypto. There's a lot of talk about which one is going to be the one. There are people that are talking about
which one's
prophecies.
gonna
There are
be the
people
one?
that
Bitcoin is already there. They're he's
Bitcoin's
building
been
one.
there. Bitcoin's been the original.
It's the only one.
But there is some talk, you know, I did hear it. I'm not to be the devil's advocate, but Bitcoin, they say, stands for beta test coin. So it's in
Yeah,
preparation of the one that's going to come after. And so there's, you know,
there'll always be ones that come after, but
right.
currently our standing is it's not Trump coin for sure. It's not
No,
Melania coin for sure. It's not the
nope.
Hatua coin, and it's
Right.
definitely not the XRP coin either. It's a good coin to get into. It's not
Yeah.
totally trash because people believe in it, but
Well, without putting my money in the crypto space within the past few months, just because I'm observing it, I have noticed a trend in two coins constantly going down and constantly going up by 5% down, 5% up. And that is Shiba Inu and Pepe. Those are the two that I've recognized that have been um, identified as a potential moneymaker if you can follow that market. Now, I'm not saying this because I have experience. I'm just saying I've observed it,
yeah.
you know,
So let me
but
explain how that works. There's something called
yeah,
market makers, and market makers go into the market and they buy a bunch of shit. So especially if it's a 5% clear,
yeah,
it's just somebody moving the market. So
right,
the whole thing about like gold, silver, there's, you know, JP Morgan has been holding the silver for a very long time and moving the markets
right,
intentionally whenever they want to. They buy a bunch, they sell a bunch. That's where with Bitcoin, the price also with BlackRock coming in and these other big companies coming in. So please do not try to bet on that speculation
no,
because you're trusting uh, a market maker that works for a bigger entity. We're just small
100%.
retail investors,
Yeah,
and there's no way that we can move the market. So you can never get the advantage that they have.
right,
So it's very damaging because people will go out and try to do that, you know? So
right,
it's wonderful to look at those things and possibly take advantage, but it's better to be honest to like um you know, a real find real good storages of wealth. Right now, the
100%.
only thing that I would consider would be Bitcoin as a storage of wealth. You got to be careful of gold and silver too, because Bo and I have gone over this a lot. Because a lot of people steered us in to get a bunch of silver, get a bunch of gold, and it's great until you go to friggin' sell it, right?
Well,
So
I actually made a lot of money with gold and silver, but that's because I
okay,
bought it when it was at 29 to $32 an ounce for silver and 2,900 to $3,500 per ounce of gold.
yep,
And then it shot up to 4 and 5 grand and up to $120 an ounce for silver.
yep,
And I read the writing on the wall, and I sold a bunch out of
yep.
necessity. I do have to say I would have been willing to hold on to it. However, now look at where it's at. It's balancing around 50, $60 silver.
Yeah, it's gone back down. So you got to
Yeah.
timing is the thing in the market that you cannot predict. So you got lucky, which is great. But
Yep.
overall, and if you have to go in and sell it to a dealer, for example,
Mm,
you're not gonna get you're gonna get melt value in most of the cases, even when you're selling
absolutely.
coins and you're
Yep.
buying them at over spot, and you're like that you have to be really educated in that because I wasn't super educated, right? I got a bunch of coins, got like 500 freaking coins. I'm like, yeah, everything's gonna go to 1 billion. I was great, and the reality is like when you go to actually sell those coins, they nobody wants to give you the real value. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Well,
It
I mean, if you can develop a relationship early on, that's
it
very
helps.
important.
It
It
helps.
definitely does.
It
Yeah.
helps, but
And I have those in several
ultimately
locations.
they're
But
governed by the prices. They're governed by what their
oh yeah.
uh, melt dealer will buy because
Yep.
there's not a big market for coins that have already been opened.
Yep.
Everybody wants perfect mint coins when they buy them, so
Oh
they'd
yeah.
rather just melt them. So
Yeah.
so there's a
I mean,
lot of
when I sold my silver, they were buying $30 under spot, which I've never heard of. That was crazy.
buying $30 under spot.
Under spot. That's what they were buying it at. And that was when it
That's
was at
all
about 120,
right.
whatever.
So
Yeah,
nobody was buying it at the actual price.
that's
So
right.
that's what everybody's got to know. And
Yeah.
that's what I
That was
don't want
because
to
I had a relationship with them.
right, but I don't
So I
want to
had that. Yeah.
demystify what you were saying
100%.
in that it it's not going to work for everybody. And in
It's
most
not. And
cases,
it
like
and it
especially
didn't.
when
They were
people
telling me
come
that
on,
the only reason they would do it for me is because I brought a lot of people to them and I purchased a lot and that's why. But that's why having that relationship is important.
yeah. But the thing about Bitcoin is like you can sell it any second you need it.
Of
Like
course.
you can go
Yeah.
right now to the internet and sell it. Guess what? For exactly the price that
Oh,
somebody would pay,
100%. Well,
whatever its market value
you
is.
could do that with any crypto right now.
Yeah. But you
Yeah.
can't do that with gold or silver. It just
Nope, you cannot.
minus 40
Yeah.
spot is bullshit, dude. Like
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but it's
It was
not
tough, man. Yeah, yeah.
but that's not but if I had put the same money in Bitcoin as I did into gold and silver, I would have done a
Yeah.
shit ton better
I
than I
bet.
would
Especially
have
back
done
then.
on the gold and silver. And not only
Uh-huh.
that, I could have sold it without having to like transport it around the world and then be
Right.
worried about getting robbed because the buyers are never in good areas. They're always in like,
Right.
the ghetto basically, right across from the
Uh-huh.
the melt the melters, the smelters.
Yeah.
So just be aware of that because it always sounds like a good idea to people and they might be holding a big bag of silver or gold. And if you are, I highly, highly suggest for me like putting half of it into crypto because it's much better if you actually need it
Right.
and you want to use it because
Absolutely.
it's just not
Well, I mean,
all
this is
cracked
just
up in.
the bare minimum of investment. Never invest all your eggs in one basket,
No, that's called
you know?
diversity and it's important.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
at the same time, be weary of something that's considered like everything's a good investment and everything's a bad investment. What matters is the timing. And if you never sell, it's always a good investment because
Uh-huh.
you never took a loss, right? So you just keep
Yep.
going up and down, going up and down, going up and down. So you have to be careful how the people selling you these investments really
Absolutely.
justify what they're saying is a good investment. Because to
Yeah.
me, I no longer consider silver a good investment as like something other than maybe like a piece of art.
Sure.
Um, not something that I would consider as like even they try to say it's God's money. Like, yeah, try to maybe it's because you can only spend it with God, but try to spend it somewhere. You know what I mean?
Right.
And try to
We
get
it's
what the
it's
market
tough.
says it's worth. Yeah.
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 It's
You
tough.
can't take it into a business. You can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like I can't, hey, I need a pizza. Can I buy it with a little piece of silver? Like, I got fractional silver. But no, but if you have fractional Bitcoin, guess what? You can go right on your phone on Uber and order Uber Eats. You can't. So you can't do those same types of things with gold and silver. I mean,
No.
maybe we should create something like that. Maybe it needs to happen, but the current state of gold and silver isn't there. So, listeners,
Right.
beware of that and don't. I personally wouldn't overinvest in that as I did, because I overinvested in it into a place that I ultimately felt uncomfortable because it's heavy, it's big. You have to
Right.
explain it. Like, you can't go
You
through.
have to explain it. Why are you
Yeah.
carrying 3 bars of silver through the TSA checkout?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's not fun. And it's like, dude, don't worry about it. Just in case I need it. You know what I mean? None of your business.
Yep.
I
Mm-hmm.
actually put trust property on it. So I have a document that I put on the box that says this is trust property.
Smart.
And then I tell them that they're not allowed to open it because it will diminish the value. So if they're willing to accept responsibility for diminishing the value, then they can open up one of the capsules. Um,
Hmm.
but
Wow.
if you're going through customs or you're going to travel with countries, you want to travel with gold. And the reason being is that you can get denominated gold. So you can
Hmm.
get a coin that's denominated in gold and it's like a $10 gold piece. Okay? So
Hmm.
that $10 gold piece might be worth $6,000 or $5,000 or whatever it is, $3,000.
Yeah.
Um, but you don't have to declare it other than the minted value. So
Hmm.
when you get an actual minted coin, you don't have to declare the overvalue. But also, just so you know, if you are traveling outside of the country, or you decide like, hey, I want to travel somewhere and I do want to take cash, there is a form that you can fill out and just declare it. And that's really the best way to do it. It's a FinCEN form. It's called FinCEN Form 105. Um, and then you can take as much cash as you want through the
Hmm.
airport. Like
Interesting.
the only reason that they can take your money at the airport is because you don't fill out a FinCEN 105 form. So
Wow.
it's like everything. They don't tell us the rules. They're like, you can't take more than 10,000 through the airport.
Yep.
And all of us ignorantly or naively believe that we can only go somewhere and take 10,000, which isn't
Mm-mm.
true. You could take $1 million in your suitcase if you put it on a FinCEN report.
Wow. And that's a FinCEN 10?
FinCEN 105.
105. Okay.
Yeah.
FinCEN
So
105.
yeah, you can look that up because I was like naive
Yep.
about that. And, it's something that is like, probably we learned it from TV, right? Like they just
Oh
don't
yeah.
want you, because the thing is, if they again, this is all about Caesar, right? Because if they catch you over 10,000 and you don't have a FinCEN, and by the way, it costs nothing and takes 2 minutes online.
Hmm.
So if it costs nothing and takes 2 minutes online and you filled it out, they can't by law take it from you. If you have more than 10,000 and you didn't fill out the form, they have every right to take it from you.
Hmm.
And you probably won't get it back. And if you do, it'll
Nope.
be very challenging
Right.
because they'll say it smells like drugs, and all money smells like drugs
Of
because
course.
it's not your money and somebody somewhere along the line was doing drugs,
Yep.
and touched the money. So it's like
That's right.
absolutely nonsense. So one of the things that we've been really going over a lot in the past couple weeks, not in an educational side, yet it is in an educational side, but it it it's really, I'm going to add it to the stage right now.
Primary information. Oh, and one more thing I want to mention before we start the video. Even though the interaction with these cops is friendly and pleasant, don't ever let your guard down for a moment. Cops have proven time and time again by their actions they are not our friends.
Please don't play games with me.
I'm not playing games with you. You can walk, but you can't enter the safe zone.
Yeah, I'm not going to enter the safe zone. I'm going to stay on the public sidewalks.
Whoa, hold on. Hold on, sir, please. I'm not trying to mess with you.
I
think we have 6 to 10 on the street right now.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
did y'all install them for this?
No, we actually have a virtual net here.
Oh,
so the minute
okay.
you enter,
Okay, this is a video about flock cameras, so I'm not sure if you just caught what he said. Is they've set up a virtual net there. So I'm not sure, Bo, if you're much aware, if you've been following what we've been going over on the flock cameras. But can you hear us, Bo?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, now we can.
Very good.
We've been going pretty deep into flock cameras. Oh, You got a little feedback there. Um, we've been going pretty deep into the flock cameras, and I think we lost Bo, and he'll come back in again. Um, one of the problems with these, all right, you're back, right?
Yeah, I'm back. For some reason on my phone, it kicks me off, but on my
Yeah, just jump back on when we
yeah,
press play again.
cool.
But one of the things we've been going deep into is these flock cameras, and they're trying to say that they're all safe and everything is fine,
Mm,
and it's for our protection, and but right here, the officer. So they're what this is. This is a fake school shooting, and
mm,
and the officer just admitted that they set up a virtual net, which a net is designed
yeah.
to just catch anybody. And it's anybody that came across the bridge goes into their facial recognition system,
Wow.
and they're getting all of your information. Do you have warrants? Do you have speeding tickets? How much money do you have in the bank? What your wife's name is, what your kids' names are, where you went to college, where you went to school, have you paid your, fines and duties, and all these types of
Right.
things is there in their virtual net. So the problem with these things are, Bo, I don't know if you're too much aware of them, but none of us voted for them. You know what I mean? Like,
Nope.
nobody said we wanted them.
Never even heard of it until today.
Oh, Bo, you've been really, really missing out. So the flock
Uh-huh.
cameras, so it's a AI cooperation between Palantir and a company called Flock. And they
Wow.
have cameras that they call license plate readers now on every police car, and they
Mm-hmm.
have them on all the light poles in not virtually every
It's
town
crazy.
in
By the way,
America.
if you didn't hear this from me, and I'm not saying that you should do this, I'm not even saying it works. But if you take WD-40 and squirt it over your license plate, it may or may not from cameras. But continue.
Yeah, that may or may not matter a fucking bit because they're actually taking your facial recognition as you drive down the street.
Right.
So all that really does is let them know you're a super asshole and you're trying to hide something, and give them more reason to come after you because they know
Sure.
your name, your birthday, your social security number, and every single thing about you. So I would highly recommend not doing
Yep.
those things
Yep. Exactly. That's why I
because,
said.
like, there's people that may or may not go and start and try to like shut down the actual
Right.
you know may or may not try to shut down the anyways. um so
Yeah.
I got interrupted there. Somebody had sent me something, lost track. Where were we?
No worries. Yeah, we were talking about crypto.
We're going back to crypto, huh?
No, you were talking about the flock cameras
Yeah,
and
so
yeah, all
Bot
that stuff.
camera is basically it's the Chinese social credit score system that's already here. And
Mm-hmm.
it's in a big way. So I'm gonna put this
100%.
video on and we're gonna watch it for about 10 minutes just so you can get an idea of how they justify this, how they rationalize it. But before I do that, I'm gonna add a different video in that I
Before
want
you
to
do
show.
that, let me say this. So everybody has to live their life the way that they recognize that everything you do in private, you'll end up doing somehow, even accidentally, in public. So just be the best version of yourself at all times. Because if you're not, all those flip ups, all those whatever, it's going to be caught somewhere somehow. And this is what they're trying to do. I mean, you know what the 13th Amendment says. If you've been duly convicted of a crime, which according to their rule system, we're all criminal. And so now we are underneath a voluntary servitude. And so what I'm saying is this: you don't have to be perfect. but recognize that everything you do, somebody is recognizing, whether it's from a camera or your children in the back seat, or even just your soul recognizing, hey, this is a check, stop what you're doing, or something in the spirit. And so just recognize that if there's things that you're doing that you know that are wrong, it's just a way to identify that, hey, there's a check, let's just course correct, and let's just be who we intend to be and who God ultimately wanted us to be. And I say that because conviction shouldn't just come when a flock camera catches us doing something we're not supposed to be doing. It should just be in our everyday life. We just be
Yeah,
who we
yeah.
are
Oh, but
at all times.
that's really
I'm just saying this is the world we're living in.
no. So the thing about it is, okay, the average
Yeah,
American commits 3 felonies a day because they made so you have to go back to the black codes, and the black codes were
of course.
designed to create crimes after slavery was legalized because
Mm,
there were no laws on the books because everybody was free under common law, and then they started making the black codes, which really only apply to black people. Um,
hmm,
they only apply to 14th Amendment citizens because they weren't made to apply to white people. Like
hmm,
loitering, trespassing is obviously illegal.
right.
Um, that's not one that wouldn't apply to everybody. Trespassing is one that is, a harmful action.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
but
ecclesiastical.
but
Yeah,
loitering, let's say, jaywalking, speeding, like all of these laws were built upon the black codes to enslave us, right? And
mm,
really to just re-enslave because nobody wanted this. Like, okay, you're not a slave anymore, but you can't do this, and
right,
then they extended that upon everybody else. Okay,
right.
so you know, a flock camera that's used against you, okay, is and there's so much abuse of these. Like we've gone over this for the past like couple months. There's an incredible amount of abuse of these cameras, Bo. So it's not,
Of course.
listen, we should always act as God sees everything because God has the film of everything. We know that, okay? That's
Right.
not the point. The point is these motherfuckers are not God, and they have no
Correct.
right to use these cameras for Caesar to seize and steal all our shit.
Of course.
And ultimately, that's what's being done, right? Like, uh,
Seize your, yes, I got it. Caesar. Seize your. Got it.
it's the Caesar, man. So
Yep.
the Caesar is the one because ultimately, all they want to do is find a reason they can steal your car, they can steal your house, they can steal your silver, they can steal your gold, or they could do it through, lawfare, right? Like make it cost you a bunch of money or whatever it is. Otherwise, all of these things would be, free.
Mm,
So,
right.
it's having an AI system that connects all the license plate readers around the entire country and track people around, um, when it's our own government that started crack cocaine to finance the Contras in Nicaragua,
Mm,
because they didn't have the money to finance the wars down there and they needed it, and they used it for that. I don't think like having these cameras now really does much of a service. Now, in certain cases, we could justify everything, right? Like if somebody was kidnapped or there was a school shooting, yeah, it's great to have something like this. Problem
right.
is, what if you decided, Bo, you wanted to have a girlfriend? And
That'd be
that's your
impossible
choice
at
and
this
that's your
point.
business or whatever it is. What if
Sure.
you
I
what
mean,
if
I'm
you
married. I'll never have a girlfriend other than my wife, but
Bo,
continue.
we're not asking for your justification here. We're just saying, what if you decided you wanted to do something that was not illegal, but it was nobody else's business but your own, right? So, those types of things are the real concerns with these cameras because the law enforcement have proven that they're using them, to find their girlfriends cheating on them. They're using them to spy on people. They're
Hmm.
doing them, and the propensity for abuse is just off the friggin' charts, because
Yeah.
you have people like, but 2 in 10 people that you meet in the United States of America have an IQ below 85, which is a certified moron idiot. Okay? That's every 2 people out of 10 people you meet
Wow.
statistically on a daily basis. So, and they intentionally hire people in these types of positions with those IQs or somewhere around there intentionally for these reasons. So, let's just look at it, and then maybe after you see how they're using it, it might make you think a little different.
Actually, the big one, when you walked on the bridge, you instantly triggered it. So it tracks all the movement. It's actually the really cool stuff. Does the facial recognition.
Did you get that? It's a virtual net. You are a fish who, when you enter this certain area, have entered a net, kind of like the panopticon we talk about. This is a surveillance police state. And it's not just about surveilling you, watching you. It's about controlling your every movement. It's about extracting your data, including your biometric data, which they have for years been denying.
Really?
Let's listen to it again. Listen to how he says it. It's a net. When you enter this area, you have entered the net. You've entered our net. And we can do, they're not going to say this part, we can do whatever we want to with your data. Once we get that data and we store it, they claim to be getting rid of it. It's eradicated after 30 days. Is that true? How do we know if it is or isn't?
Okay, Bo. So let's say you go to the gun shop, not your girlfriend's house, but you go to the gun shop and you buy some guns. And then President, Meme Coin decides that he wants to change the law and says, hey, all Americans, it's a little dangerous. Israel doesn't want you to have guns anymore. So we want you to take those all away. And thankfully, Israel owns flock cameras. Oh, and Israel owns Palantir. So they use the AI. They own the AI and the camera systems behind tracking every single person that went to a gun store.
Also, did you see the video where in Congress they agreed that the U.S. military now serves Israeli military? Yeah, I got a lot of guys I'm working with right now that are pissed off.
Yeah, it's great to be pissed off, but they're really being pissed on. And there's a thing. Somebody said, like, I really fight for this stuff, like I don't just talk about it. I fight for it. And I'm not pissed off. I'm not pissed on. I'm about to start pissing, on other motherfuckers, because it's like, if somebody serves me a shit sandwich, I don't eat that shit, But there's a lot of people that like to eat shit sandwiches. You just serve them a shit sandwich, like, hey, here's Israel, eat that sandwich. And a lot of people eat the shit sandwich. So my question is more that they're pissed off. What are we going to do about this shit? What we've been noticing is that there's a lot of protests going on against
all around the world.
All around the world against Israel. Probably created by Israel itself to make them the victim and fulfill some kind of bullshit prophecy that they have. Well, because there is the prophecy that once the whole world turns against Israel, that they somehow win something. They get some kind of prizes, maybe 1,000 virgins or something. I don't know.
No, it's not quite that. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Some bullshit.
Wrong religion.
Bullshit that they made up.
Yeah.
It's total nonsense. So.
And those other religions, it's 70 to 70,000 virgins. But anyways, who's keeping count? Whatever.
It's all retarded, dude. Like, it's just,
the irony of that is they don't differentiate whether or not they're male or female virgins. So
so they got a bunch of they don't differentiate everything.
They're stuck on their world with a bunch of dudes for all of eternity. Yeah, that's a fun.
You get 10,000 virgin goats. Did you get to fuck with these goats?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the Freemason dog fuckers.
Oh my gosh,
that's 10,000 dogs to fuck until eternity.
Oh, it's unreal. Let the elevator go to the top sometimes. Ask questions all the time. That's what Jesus did. He didn't answer anybody. He just asked the right question. All he did was
So,
just ask questions. So our
here's the
job is to ask
question, though.
questions.
In what
Ask me the
world is
question.
it good that they're tracking you to the gun shop, but yet they can't even track the Epstein emails to the people that actually like put in there they did a bunch of
Or
bad shit?
or maybe they can.
Yeah, but we know they can, of course. If they can
Exactly.
track you to the gun shop, they can track
Hmm.
all that stuff. The problem is they
All of
ain't
it.
doing shit about it.
Exactly. Well, they're doing what they want with the people they want because they're trying to make, well,
I don't know.
examples
You know
of
what
the
they're trying to make,
sheeple.
bro?
They're trying to make examples of the sheeple.
Uh,
That's what they're doing because they want everybody to be scared. What's the three rules in the enemy's vocabulary? Number one is to get you to be anxious and get you busy. Number two is to get you to be fearful and speak that language. And number three is to live in terror or trepidation. That's
well,
that's
having
the
cameras
three
tracking every
rules of
time you leave the
language.
house is pretty much
Oh, dang it. It did it
like
again. Hold on. All
okay.
right. We're good.
So leaving your house
Mm-hmm.
and having every single place you go to monitored, mapped, put into a database where what you bought
Nope.
there put into the
Yep.
same database because the cameras inside are also connected to the same database. So
Mm-mm.
they're like police are showing up at people's houses, misidentifying people, saying they went places they didn't go because
Mm-hmm.
AI makes mistakes, right?
Of course.
It's not perfect.
Yeah.
And they're using this as the end all be all. They're using it against people to say,
Mm-hmm.
okay, you went there, there, and there. You were what? You drive your car by accident into some drug neighborhood in Minnesota, and then they start tracking you around, and they can say, oh, well, Bo's a drug dealer now, and oh, well, Bo, we found some silver on you. You must be selling drugs. We need to take your silver. Those kind of
Mm.
things. That's the whole thing that I'm speaking about, Bo, and why this
I
is
know.
a slippery
Well,
slope.
you remember back in, about 5, 6 years ago when they asked everybody to stand 6 feet apart from one another? It's because within that 6 feet, and I know this from somebody who served in a certain branch, let's put it that way. They were monitoring us and they couldn't get correct facial recognition within that 6 foot radius because if you're within 6 feet, it would blend the faces and the satellite would create a new face or a new image for both of those people. But with 6 feet apart, because I think it was like 5 foot, whatever, 5 feet, whatever inches it was that they needed to be
Makes
apart
sense.
in order to identify, okay, this, and then the satellites tracked them and tracked where they went, tracked where they go. And that way they can pinpoint and differentiate. If you're within 6 feet from somebody now, they know who you are. Like
Yeah.
for those that participated in that 6 foot rule, that's what, and the thing that
Now,
they
Bo,
didn't
if
like
anybody
was
was
guys
going
that
to
guys that wore ball
Walmart
caps that
or
also proposed another difficulty. Ball caps, especially tight bills. There's a reason for everything, guys.
it's more difficult from the satellites, but once you enter a
Their little grid
Walmart,
system, right?
a gas station,
Yeah.
or a Burger King, you're screwed because
Well,
even
this is especially true, Adam, and you said it before, the black laws, for those of us that are listening that are different
black folks.
ethnicities, specifically leaning towards the blacker, skin color.
Yep.
They're pinpointing you on
Jaden.
purpose.
Jaden.
Yeah, he's the last one that they're gonna identify as black. That's funny. Anyways, that's another story, but yeah, that's good. But yes. So, for those of us that are listening that are of a different ethnicity than the ones that they are more lenient towards, that's a very real difficulty, and it's not the way it's supposed to be, because that's not what it means to be free, and that's not what it means to be a man or a woman, and especially living in this world that God created with all the different ethnicities. um, that sucks. And so for those of us that are listening that are not of those ethnicities, it's our chance to stand up to stuff like that. Because if we don't, the only triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. And you can be the good in the world that you want to see. You know, I mean, I know I quoted two sources there, but the reality is this. This
But
is coming from different cultures that
what
we can
is
do
it?
something about. Go ahead.
What is it? The whole thing is what do we do about this one? Because like AI is great. Love it. We can use it for great
Mm-hmm.
things. We can do really cool
100%.
things, right? We can
Yep.
like use it for elections. We could use it for answering phones. We could use it for answering smart questions that
Uh-huh.
are more complex than we could process in a
And
short
given
period
us
of
a
time.
synopsis of a 11-page report or document that somebody sent us,
For
give us the
example,
answer right there. Boom. In an instant, less than
a
20
better
seconds.
answer, but you still need to use your brain and really see if
Of
they got it
course.
right, what points they
Yeah.
missed. And there's always
Right.
more. But
Yeah.
at the same
It's
time,
not perfect, basically, is what you're saying. Yeah.
no, nothing's perfect. I'm not perfect. You're
Right.
not perfect. Nobody's perfect. And what I'm saying is you still have to do the work.
Right.
And but it shouldn't be a tool used against you, right? It's kind
Of
of like
course.
this. I had a guy yesterday who I really respect for his business acumen. He's a very smart entrepreneur friend of mine. He used to be a partner of mine a long time ago. And he posted something on Facebook and it said, this AI shit don't work. And he's like, "Hey, I put this document in and it gave me the wrong codes back, like the building codes or whatever." And I'm like,
Sure.
that's like picking up a baseball bat and saying it didn't hit me a home run. Like this baseball bat doesn't work. It didn't hit me a home run. And, it's just a tool like anything else. But tools can be used for us or tools can be used against us.
Absolutely.
And this one is majorly being used against us. And just like that cryptocurrency wallet we were speaking about earlier, it's no coincidence that, it just happens to be a guy frantically hiding the fact that he's Jewish, like Palantir,
Mm.
like all of these groups that do. I mean, look, we were talking about Buy American earlier and like those kind of things. None of these companies are Buy American, but they may have bought America because
Mm.
for our corporate policy to have merged military, uh that I think is an insurrection or something, some kind of
100%.
like
I agree.
clear takeover
Yeah.
when another country has any influence over our military or military decisions, that's already an insurrection.
Hmm.
So uh
Well, and the reality is this is that most of our militaries are pre-constitution, which means they're above it. But what they honor is the
except
fact that
basically
they enforce the Constitution. And
they should.
so how does that lawfully
So
rectify itself? Because
yeah,
if
so
our
here's
militaries,
the thing, Bo. So you really missed an important session that we did a couple weeks ago.
okay,
And this session was
and I
with
apologize, I've missed a lot. I
Brandon,
have been busy, so
and Brandon uh, is that Pickletarian guy. He's a smart guy, and he went really through. So we went through really what an American. There is no such thing as an American state national. So you can be a state citizen, but the national status has pretty much been debunked. That it's a real challenge to actually be considered national. Okay, because what happened with the non-ratification of the 13th and 14th amendments, primarily the 14th amendment. The
mm,
13th amendment originally said that no lawyers could hold office, but somehow that was changed to the slavery law. Ooh,
wow,
ironically,
yeah,
that slavery is legal in America. But the 14th amendment, what happened is that by opting in to resident status, by claiming residency, because we went through the definitions of what a resident really is, and it's a foreign person to a place that has limited rights.
Of course.
So you don't have any fucking rights to the Constitution because you gave them away. So whatever you want to say or believe or do, even those gentlemen who joined the military, they've opted out of the rights of the Constitution by contract, because also in the Constitution that's behind you says that they can't interfere with the right to private contract. So all they did was screw with your right to private contract.
Mm.
And what they did was they made all of you 14th Amendment citizens. Okay, so David was on the right track, and our state national paperwork still stands. The correct terminology would most likely be a state citizen, because state citizens were created before the actual union, right?
Mm.
So if you want to talk about what predates the Constitution, that would be state citizen,
Mm.
which those of us who don't have US residency, don't claim to have residency in the United States or residency in a particular state, then they can be a state citizen. But everybody who has a driver's license claims what state they're a resident of, which gives up all your rights to the Constitution.
Mm.
So again, we go back to this like, oh, I don't need a driver's license. Yeah, you shouldn't have a driver's license for a state. You shouldn't. You just shouldn't have a driver's license. Why? Because you give up, or you should elect not to be a resident and say, I'm a non-resident. And that's where this non-resident alien thing comes in. But again, remember, Bo, we never explained the whole theory together.
Right.
And I would love to go through that video again. Maybe we could do it next week if you have time, if you're going to be here.
I will.
And go through it one more time, because a lot of people in the state national movement are disenfranchised because, like, blah, 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 and they don't know how to use what they have correctly. And there's a lot of, it's not misinformation, but things that aren't completely true to the law. So Brandon went through all of the codes, all of the laws, the complete Constitution, where everything comes from. And I found it incredibly helpful at standing on the truth of what that is. So as much as anybody would like to defend the Constitution, it's almost like defending a birthday cake, right?
Mm.
Like, does it mean it's your birthday because you have a birthday cake there? No. It could be somebody else's birthday. It could be, doesn't really mean anything.
Well, look at the birthday cake. The one that usually made it, more often than not in the days we're living in, is not there. And even if they are, it's just one of them. Unless there's enough people around that birthday cake willing to defend the ingredients and everything that went into it, you're not going to do any good with defending that birthday cake. And the same is true with the Constitution. Everybody is underneath.
Not yours.
Everybody's underneath this spell that is correct.
They're not underneath the spell boat. They're underneath the signature. They're underneath the contract that they contracted out of their rights.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that logic. I don't disagree with that truth. However, if there are enough people that would rise up, then it doesn't matter what's put on a piece of paper or not. But then,
like, when the court tells you that you don't have the constitutional rights, we don't do that here. They're 100% correct in what they're saying. They're not wrong.
Right.
We could fight them and say, woo, 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 woo. But they got us.
Well, of course they did,
Like,
because there's not enough people defending the birthday cake. Nobody cares. They just want a slice of it because it's everybody's got this incentive that, hey, it's just going to taste good. And they've been incentivized that, hey, I come to this party, I'm going to taste the cake, I'm going to move on with my life and watch my own videos on Netflix or whatever, YouTube, and they don't care. Nobody wants to defend the birthday cake.
Correct. And that's where we're at with but you can't defend something that you're not a party to. Okay.
Right.
So it's almost like me defending your marriage, right? Or me defending somebody in their contract with their employer, right?
Mm.
Like I couldn't come in and put myself, I'm a third party. Like you're actually a third party to the Constitution because you're not, well, you are, Bo, in the fact that you're a state citizen. So you're a party to that actual contract. And once you sign a residency, so if you've claimed residency anywhere and you haven't rescinded that residency onto the public record, you give up all your entire Bill of Rights as well. Not only the
Mm.
Constitution, but the entire Bill of Rights. And it's right there in their codes. Like Brandon like puts it out like, here's where it is. Like, I like this guy. He's not always right. He's not always correct. Nobody is. Okay. He's not always correct in what he says. None of us are. But
Right.
at least when he points us into a direction, he points us to the actual data. So
Mm.
you can see where it comes from and where the theory comes from and why you shouldn't have a driver's license because it's dangerous to have it because residency is important. And once you claim residency, you give up your Bill of Rights.
Mm.
And that means you have no rights. So they can do these things to people that have given up their rights. So, yes, the fact that they have these flock cameras is disturbing. But what's more disturbing is that everybody's given up their rights and they have no remedy because they've given up the remedy because they don't make themselves subject to the Constitution legally. We put certain documents through American State National Movement that would be a prelude to that. I think it still needs some definite work in what that all is. I mean, it's not you're not the name and all the capital bullshit and all that stuff. There's stuff to that, of course.
Right.
I mean, because Brandon goes into that as well and even puts it into his paperwork as a white citizen. Now, do I believe that that stands as a white citizen? No, because there's a lot of laws that came after that that, yes, originally the 14th Amendment was for Negroes only, not for white citizens. And they only made the 14th Amendment to make the people that own slaves happy. You know what I mean? Because
Mm.
slavery technically just changed a little bit, a lot of it, but it's just been modified from the original contract.
Yeah.
So, again,
What's interesting about that is that during that time, a lot of blacks were learning trades and skills, and they were very highly successful, leading all the way up to the 40s, 50s, and even into the 60s, right before that whole mess came about. But they were business owners. They were very highly successful. I mean, there were much going for them. And then all of a sudden, the government came in and said, "Oh, you guys need this and you guys need that." And there's an awesome video. I'll find it for you. I'll send it to you. But it's a group of these black men that basically said that was one of the worst times in history for black people. It wasn't the riots and all the stuff that they were showing us on TV. It was they literally stripped the black man away from their rights of being a free man and literally incentivized them and said, "Hey, you can have all these gifts from the government. You could do this. You'll never have to work again. You could just have all this stuff because we feel bad about all of this." And they were pissed about it. And a lot of black men
the same deal that you took, Bo?
what's that?
Isn't that the same deal you took? Like it's not black men, it's all men. It's all
It's all
Americans.
men, 100%,
It's all
absolutely,
Americans.
and
So
it trickled into all society. I agree with that 100%. Yep,
tricked is the key word. Yes.
yep,
So we were
yes.
all tricked into
Uh-huh.
it.
They've got us into a game that they never showed us the rules, and we've been trying to play it the best we can. Many of us
Yeah.
don't even know the language, and that's why we are in a losing battle in
I
much
don't
of this
I
game.
okay, again, we're not in a losing battle. So
Okay, you know what? I correct that. Yep.
there's three things that go into luck. And I'll
I
say
mean,
the
by and large, there's a few people that are recognizing this and working their way out. But yes.
so luck is something that is so you can either have good luck or bad luck, and it's completely a choice.
Right.
And the one of the main criterias of luck is how you see a situation.
Sure.
And those that are the most lucky see the situation, no matter how it is, for their benefit always. That even when some people like, oh, I got cancer, and like a lucky person will say, I'm the luckiest motherfucker I got cancer because I just like then I stubbed my toe and I like found 1,000 pounds of gold and the cure for cancer at the same time, and life is great, right? So like that is all a conscious choice in how you want to see it.
Sure.
And that's the same thing. So I don't believe that any of these things that we're facing are impossible to change our luck.
They're not.
And
You're right about that.
I mean, we just got to stop being stupid and get hypnotized by dumb shit like Donald Trump. Okay. Like, I'm not talking bad about the president. I don't really give a shit. Please don't come and hunt me down because I said this video. But what I'm saying is, like, you got to stop putting your faith into these men, and you got to stop, let's say, you got to just know who you are in the whole situation.
Right.
And, technology is not bad, but there's bad men using technology. And us good men have to start standing up and doing
Of
something for
course.
it. And will that bring war to America? It's close. I think it's almost already here.
Mm.
And I'm not officially declaring war, but I'm feeling very war torn,
Mm.
meaning I'm like, I'm on the cusp
Right.
of
It's something that you said.
declaration.
Something that you said, and we had this conversation. I don't know, maybe a year ago, but it might have been you, it might not have been. I don't remember, but forgive me. You probably have said it. But Donald Trump is not Jesus,
I mean, he's Jewish like Jesus,
but
but
he's
Jesus
well.
wasn't Jewish either.
He wasn't.
That's the whole thing. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, you're Jesus and I'm Jesus, and we're all supposed to be Jesus. That's the whole thing. Okay. And Donald Trump is supposed to be Jesus, and God does play all the parts. But we're not supposed to worship even Jesus, right? Like that's the whole basis of Christianity is not to have all idolatry and not to worship Jesus, it's to become Jesus. And that's the whole back thing, that we have this culture of worship, right? Like we worship an American flag. We worship
What I
the
mean to say is that
countries in
Donald
the
Trump
world.
should not be an idol, because the Bible
Correct.
actually says that you shall have no other gods before me and have no idols.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. None of us should be idols. And all we should be
Correct.
doing is doing our best to be Christ like and find the Christ within. That's it. And, if we can find something good in what he's doing, that's all we can do. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
Because
Yeah.
it's just going to lead us there. As far as like the politics and the policy is concerned, it needs to change. And we've really got to, like, as a culture, as a community, wake up and just start reimagining it, right? So I'm
Right.
working on a lot of projects right now in the AI space, and they're all about just reimagining what things could be in a good way. And that's what we have to create. We have to use our creative force and our creative power. If they're creating nets to try to catch us, we have to start creating like net busters that just kill nets, right? Like they eat holes. We have to create a super moth that just eats holes in nets. Like
I love that. Super Moth AI. I love
yeah,
it.
yeah. So in
Created
all,
right here
yeah,
today, August 5th. We created the Super Moth
right. I
AI.
mean, because like these things that they're creating against us, I mean, the scriptures, God, creator, whatever, already told us that whatever comes up against us won't succeed. So you just
Right.
have to know that. You got to build and create like a lot of better things and not let people fuck you up, like the insurance companies and these people who like fuck with us all the time, right?
All the
Like
time.
I'm getting fucked with all the time. You're getting fucked with all the time. And we just have to
Unbelievably.
use it to create things
Well, and
that,
it helps if you let it shape us into the men that we were ultimately created to be.
yeah, but again, okay, so we go back to this thing called luck, okay? The the one predominant rule, there's three, but one is that you see the situation and you use it for your advantage. So really all these things you're going through, and that's why Bo's been a little absent. He's had a lot of things he's had to focus on because he's been without, a house almost. I mean, you have a house, but it's like
I
you
1 year
have a house
anniversary on Sunday, baby. Last
for one
Sunday.
for 1 year,
Haha,
right? And
unreal.
you really need to take what you learned from this and you have to go and you have to drill up their ass. Like you have to create
I
something.
mean,
You
a little
have to
graphic,
create
but something's
you have
gonna
to
happen.
create something that is going to help other people not go through the same situation, or
Absolutely.
you got to create some kind of weapon because God says no weapon formed against us will prosper.
That's right.
So you got to create some weapon against them that will prosper because God never said he didn't create a weapon for you that won't prosper. He said that I never created a weapon for them that will prosper.
That's right.
So
Isaiah 54:17.
you gotta create your weapon that will
Mm-hmm.
prosper against these fuckers. And the only thing that like I have so many people that I help, Bo. So many people that I help. But you know what? Most people give up.
They do.
Most people give, and they're like, "Oh, Adam, just whatever you think. I don't know. I don't want to think
Telling
anymore.
you.
It's too hard." And blah blah blah. And I'm
It's
like,
sometimes it
like,
just feels easier to do it. It
it
does,
is
but
easier,
you got to
but
stick
you
with it. I'm
can't
telling you,
give
you
up.
cannot quit. The moment you quit, that breakthrough that you were almost there. You know what it takes to break through a wall?
Yeah.
It
Like
takes time, it
I
takes
help people,
energy, it
Bo.
takes effort, and the
I've
moment
always,
you feel like you can't break it, that's the moment when most people give up, and they have no
yeah,
idea that they were a centimeter,
yeah.
less than an inch away from their breakthrough. And
Make
that's
sure
what
if you
happens.
see a sandwich, you
If
don't
you
eat
if you
it.
don't quit, you win.
Yes.
Even to the end of it, if you don't quit, you win because it's a generational defeat. You're literally defeating the enemy one whatever it looks like at a time.
Yep.
And if you keep doing it, and if you stop and if you quit, then you're those that inherit the battles that you have passed
Well,
on, they won't be able to they
you're
won't be
about to
able to
win
do
this
it.
one. You're about to win this one. That's why you're back.
I
You
already
don't have
know
enough
it.
time left.
I'm 100% about this. I won this a year ago. Actually, a
We
year
know
and
that.
3 days ago.
We know that, but
Yeah,
it still is to be done. So
I
it's
know.
getting done now.
Well, most
And
people fight for a victory. I fight from victory, Adam.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And the thing about it is a lot of people give up.
Yeah,
And a lot
and
of people want to go.
that's the hardest thing. And I do have to say that, I acknowledge that with you, Adam, all the people that you've helped, all the people that even I've met. Um, and when people lose heart, I mean, it's tough. Everybody loses heart at some point. But here's the thing: you have to come to grips with reality, and that what Adam is saying, what David preached for many many years, some of the things I've said. The reality is this, man. If you just continue and move forward and keep pressing on, and you stand
No
up,
worries, bro.
even if I mean, think of what Rocky said when he Sylvester Stallone wrote in his book when he was writing this. He said the world intends to knock you down and keep you down, but our job, if we're going to be victorious in this,
Get up.
even in a lightweight situation, heavyweight situation, doesn't matter. We could be the littlest one in the room. We got to get up and stand up and keep punching, keep moving forward. Because if we don't, then the world has got us and it will keep you down.
Yeah, it's like a lot of people, you remember there's one guy we had, and I like to use this. I like to use this in every single situation because people always tell me, Adam, why don't you just give up? Why don't you just stop? Why are you always fighting all these guys? Why do you care? It's just easier to just close your mouth and continue on.
Mm,
And, if you're walking down the street and you got a bag of money like this in your hand, somebody comes up and they punch you in the face and they take your bag of money and you don't do shit about it. Guess what? The next time you're walking down the street, you got a bag of money. Guess what they're gonna do?
Same
They're
thing.
gonna pop you in your face and they're gonna steal your bag of money because there
Mhm.
isn't any consequence.
All
You
right, I gotta say this. I gotta say this because your son's a boxer. I will
yes.
tell you this. I was in boxing as well. I was in Taekwondo. I've done a lot of fights in my day. Nobody likes the first punch. I'm just telling you. It doesn't matter if you're a boxer, it doesn't matter if you're fighting. Nobody likes the first punch. But the moment that the skin hits your skin and the adrenaline rushes to your heart and your brain triggers, you have a choice to make. And if you choose to continue moving forward, I promise you that fight becomes more enjoyable than the last thing that I'm
Yeah,
telling you,
because it don't hurt.
it's,
Don't hurt.
yeah. You want it again. You're like, all right, try it again. Hit
No.
me again. Hit me again. Hit me again.
Right.
Like Brock Lesnar when he was crazy in his youth with his tongue out. He's like, ah, and he's like, hit me, hit me, hit me. He just wore the guy out until one punch knocked the guy out. I'm telling you, that's what life is like. If you don't want to get hit, do nothing, then just go keep hiding in your own little space. Do what you're going to do. Nothing's going to happen to you, but everything's going to happen to the world around you. And
So
you
so
yep,
back to flock cameras.
got it. All I'm saying is it's an
Accidents
adrenaline rush, but if you keep moving forward, you will eventually
accidents
recognize you'll enjoy it.
accidents are acceptable. Okay? So I'm not saying to do this. I'm just saying that if you accidentally ran over a flock camera unintentionally because you weren't paying attention, that's a possibility. So you got to be smart because these people are being like super super smart with what they're doing.
Oh
And if
yeah.
you just come out with a hammer and a saw
Mm-mm.
and say we're taking this down, they're going to come after you, right?
That's
You
right.
got to also be smart in your approach in how, they're punching us in the face every day on this stuff, right? And how we punch back is the main question because if you don't punch back, you just get punched in your face, they're going to steal your whole bag of money in every case. Caesar always does.
Yeah.
So the punching back thing is really, if somebody's doing some injustice to you, you can't stop. I mean, I got guys who have cases that are like 30 years long and they're still punching, and we still get screwed over by judges. Screwed over by judges. But it ain't over till it's over. And you
Yeah,
got to
it's not.
keep going to see it through to the
Yeah,
end because ultimately,
there's also another side to this. There have been times I've been punched in the face, whether it's been at, in my past at a bar or
yep,
just in, my little brother or, somebody who felt like they didn't like me.
yep.
I didn't even have to retaliate. They punched me in the face, the look in my eyes, the restructuring of my body, ready to strike. That was enough for them to just run away.
Yeah, I get
You,
it. And but a lot
I'm,
of
I'm
times
just saying, you don't always have to strike back.
how you win a fight is you run away. That's really how you win. But I'm not
That's true.
saying that. What I'm talking about
I'm not
is
talking about running
somebody
away either.
stealing your bag. I'm not talking about a
Right.
fight. I'm talking
Right.
about someone coming in to steal your bag. And everybody that has an issue getting pulled over on the side of the road, that's somebody trying to steal your bag. Everybody who's got a fine for doing this, that's somebody trying to steal your bag. Everybody who's getting tracked around the globe on, the camera system so they can try to steal your bag,
Right.
it's a much different thing than
Yeah.
just randomly someone trying to fight you. We're not talking about that kind of fight.
I get
We're
it.
talking about a fight with a monetary purse and somebody's trying to steal your bag every time. Not just like, random stuff. This is very intentional, it's very financial. The whole thing is financial always.
Right.
During COVID, if they came down and shut your restaurant down and you didn't do anything about it, if you didn't go after them personally, I don't hold them personally accountable. I mean, Bo, you still have people, for example, in your case that you should be holding personally accountable, right?
Right.
So there's lawsuits that need to be filed, for example, against adjusters. Just because you work for a company and if you don't do your job correctly, I'm going to sue you personally. If you're a police officer and you just say I'm just doing my job, okay, great. But if you're not doing your job, you lose your qualified immunity and I'm going to go after you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. And it's the same thing with somebody, you know, if somebody in Dairy Queen shit in my flurry, I'm going to sue them. You know what I mean? They didn't do their job
Hmm.
correctly. And I'm going to
Right.
personally go after them, and I'm going to go after the corporation. So you gotta really, I like to give everybody a chance. Like, hey, you know, Bo knows I sent out tons and tons of documents to people that stole my bags, right? And I'm trying to get my bags back in a lot of cases.
I've helped send some of those.
You have. And I said, hey, you know, look, just give us our bags back and everything's going to be okay. Let's talk
Hmm.
about this like men, and everything's going to be good. I'm not going to have to fucking steamroll your face. But I will. And you know, it's it's like you do also have to give, like you said, Bo, people just look at you and they know, yeah, you have to allow them the ability to realize they made a mistake, but you can't let them take your bags. And these fog cameras aren't free.
Mm.
The AI technology behind it ain't free, right? And
Mm-mm.
if you're not using AI, and if you're not on Freemanbot AI, if you're not learning about AI, if you're not reaching out to do more with the same tools that they are using, it's like my baseball bat analogy, right? If you're not practicing swinging the bat and the bat is
Right.
AI and they're practicing, you're going to lose because they're going to hit the ball out of the park all the time. So that's
Right.
why, you know, mastering AI is like the most important thing they're going to do. So, one of the things that we brought to the table, Bo, is I'm doing an event here in September, on September 4th through the 7th. It's called the AI uh, Mastery, it's Wealth and AI Mastery. Okay. It's a workshop that I'm doing here in Mexico. It's for the from the 4th through the 7th. So it's 2 half days, 2 full days. The 4th is a half a day. The 7th is a half a day. The 5th and the 6th are full days of AI, because there's there's some things that everybody's going to have to realize and get in touch with really soon. That if you don't learn how to pick up that bat, somebody's going to be swinging it at your head.
Right.
And it's coming, okay? So, Bo, some of what you're doing will be there, but if you're not able to contract properly as a contractor, it's not only about swinging the hammer. Yes, there are certain skill sets that are always going to be needed, but those with the right tools and the one that knows how to swing the bat is ultimately going to be the ones that win more often than the others. And a lot of jobs are going to be changing and transitioning. Specifically, anyone in customer service, anyone that is in sales,
Of course.
anyone that is in finance,
Yeah.
anyone that is in banking,
Hmm.
anyone that is in engineering or
Right.
architecture, or I would even, they're not wanting to be, but even the guys in your local community who are like, you know, they're out there, they're like doing land deals, and they may survey the land,
Hmm.
they may you know, appraise the land, they may they may even, you know, hold those records. Those things are all going digital. Okay, the writing
Right.
on the wall that it's all going digital. It's all going to be AI enhanced. If you don't know how to use those tools, if you don't know how to use that bat and swing it, you're dead. So what I'm going to be doing is teaching everybody here a few things: how to use AI really effectively, in a really amazing and like powerful way, how to use advanced AI tools. Um, but above that, I'm giving everybody the opportunity to join a new opportunity where they can immediately leave and start making 10, 20, 30, $40,000 a month easily. Okay. And that's just by helping local businesses in their community adapt. Because the little guys are getting left behind, right? The bigger guys, they have a whole department of AI, they have a whole different thing, but your local doctors don't have it, your local dentists don't have it, your local nobody has it, right? I mean, none of your appraisers, nobody that you do business with, nobody's effectively using it in their business the way that they should be.
Mm.
And that's really where freedom comes in, because it's great that we know all these laws. It's great that we think that the Constitution applies to us. And it's great that we want to believe the lie that we live in the freest country in the world, or you do, or whatever. But the fact of the matter is that the freedom only comes when, like, you really have the finances to be free first, right? Because freedom comes at a big price. And that big price, like most people that we deal with, and most of David's people that we got a hold are always like, oh, it costs too much money, or I don't have that, I can't afford it. So the whole purpose of what we're doing here in Mexico on the 4th through the 7th is to teach people how to get that financial freedom using the actual AI tools. So by the time that they leave, everybody's going to know how to make money with AI. Okay. But again, if you give up and you don't do anything with it and you say, oh, like, I just give up, it's not working, it doesn't work, like, then it's not going to work for you. But if you know it's going to work, if you believe it's going to work, and you have any businesses in your sphere of influence, you sign up 50 businesses, you sign up 100 businesses, and that's not a lot of businesses. It's very little businesses. We were doing the math, before on businesses like in Minnesota, for example. Did you know that there's, like, I don't know, about 3,000 dentists? So just Minnesota. So imagine if you only signed up 1% of those. What's 1% of 3,000 dentists? What, 30? 10%, 300. Imagine getting 300 of those, paying every single month, and that's the only thing you had to do is sign them up once, show them how to use the tools, and they're saving thousands of dollars a month and making a lot of money in the process. So those are the kind of things that I'm trying to help people with, because I honestly, like, this freedom shit that everybody wants to just sign a magic paper or get a magic passport doesn't work. You need the finances to be free. And if you don't have the finances, you're not free. You're absolutely
I concur with that.
a more slave than anything. So the whole purpose of this is just to get yourself into AI where it's a profitable thing for you. You're not losing money or losing your job, or you're risking because you don't know what the heck is going on. And
Right.
that's like, because I kind of like sat back and thought about this Freemanbot, and I thought about, David and the American State National Movement and all those things. And I'm like, yeah, freedom from what? Like, most of the shit and most of the problems that people have is because they just didn't fucking pay somebody some money, right? Like,
Right.
like let's get arrested on the side of the road for what? Or have them break our car window, get it impounded, and not get it back because they didn't have the money to get it back. That's not
Yeah.
freedom. That's
All right.
stupidity.
I got 2% battery here.
Now we're
So
almost done, bro.
within
So
the
you
next, no. This is important. So everybody listening, or anybody who's going to be watching in the future, uh, tell us a little bit more about this trip to Mexico and what people would need to bring and how they can get there.
So you bring your bathing suit. You'll fly over. You can fly directly to Cozumel
Yeah.
from pretty much a lot of destinations.
Yeah.
It's under, I think the whole trip from most places is under $500. I've seen tickets from Minnesota, for example, for $300 round trip. So
Easy.
not too much.
Yeah.
It's going to be at the Westin Hotel.
Yeah.
Okay. The Westin Hotel is right down the street from my house. We're going to be in a meeting room there. You can also fly into Cancun if you don't want to fly direct to Cozumel, because it's a lot cheaper to fly to Cancun, and you can take a taxi or a bus called the ADO bus that goes directly to the ferry in Playa del Carmen. If you want to be a little bit more adventurous, it is fun.
Yeah.
And you can take a ferry
Done it.
boat over from Playa del Carmen to Cozumel and then take a taxi to the Westin. Once you're there, the 4th, we're going to begin in the afternoon. We're going to do a session there. On the 5th, we're going to start at about 6 in the morning. We're going to go for a beach walk, do a little morning meditation for those that want to get up early. And then we're going to start maybe around 9 or 10 after everybody had their breakfast, go pretty much all day. We'll have some dinner. I don't know if we're going to have dinner together. It's not really included in the packages just because whenever we try to do that, everybody, like, how do you say?
Oh, it's
Everybody
crazy.
has their own eating thing.
Yeah,
So
100%. They
Uber
all do
Eats
their own
works
thing.
here,
Yeah.
so have your Uber Eats, just order it,
Yeah.
or go to the hotel restaurant, or take a taxi downtown and get tacos, whatever you're into, right? The next day, we're gonna get up and do the same thing. We're gonna talk a little bit about how to structure your business, trust, and like how to kind of like put AI to work for you after you see the platform and what's going on there. And then on the 4th day, it's just a little more recap of AI. Any questions? We're going to do about a half a day there. Each day, we're going to take a long lunch. So the siesta, we're going to work from, I think, probably about 8 until 11. And then everybody gets to go to the beach from like 11 to 3. And then we'll start back at 3 and go until about 7. So
Perfect.
I think that's going to be the best way. So it's like a mini vacation too. So we're not like consuming your whole time. It's not a marathon at all. There's a beautiful pool there. There's a beautiful beach there. Probably, the clearest water ever. Bring your snorkel, bring your goggles, bring your fins, and your bathing suit. I would advise against sunscreen. Um, you know,
As we would all.
it's just not healthy for you. Maybe
Yeah.
spray a little colloidal silver on yourself, and maybe a little
Yeah.
zinc oxide if you have to use anything
Yeah.
to put something into your body. Zinc probably would be the only suggestion.
Especially for
Um,
men. Yeah.
the it's gonna be, like I said, September 4th through the 7th.
Yep.
I have private sessions going on before that and after that. So yeah, I mean that's the time I have for everybody. We're gonna do it. It's gonna be small and intimate, and it's gonna be really fun.
And how can they
So
find out about it, Adam?
just email me, or
Info at
email.
freemanbot.com.
They can email info@freemanbot.com
Okay.
and get the information,
Got it.
and get a ticket.
Perfect.
I think the ticket prices just went up. They started at like $1,500 for the 4 days, so it's really like low cost. And if you don't make 10 grand within your first 30 or 60 days, I don't know what to tell you. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't know what to tell you, because it's like there's this AI money all over the ground, and all you really have to do is pick it up. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
teach everybody, like I do with law and everything else, like how to pick it up. But I can't make you pick it up, right? Like I can't make
Exactly.
people not give up.
And
I can't
and
make
Adam,
people.
on that, I'm case in point for anybody's listening. Adam, he really, really showed me the ropes about AI. He wasn't the first one to introduce it to me, but I thought it was just stupid and foolish, and I didn't know how I was ever going to navigate it. And then Adam showed me the ropes. He showed me how to navigate it, showed me what to say, gave me some ideas. And from then on, I'm telling you, AI has been a tremendous, like, I don't know how in the world I ever did it without AI. Not that it's not the answer, but it's so much faster than utilizing somebody that has to go and research things for you or write something up and wait 2 or 3 days when you can get it within 60 seconds. And
Yeah,
so I just have to say that
that's
Adam
the
knows what
fun
he's talking
aspect of
about.
it. But there's a lot of other business
I know,
applications
but even
that.
just that would be, and that practical information and things that you help me with would be valuable enough just to,
Yeah, and so now
take that
imagine if you
vacation.
start helping all the local businesses. Imagine you could only help just the 3,000 dentists And then imagine that I gave you all of their telephone numbers. Or imagine I help put you into a system where AI will actually call them, it will get their email address, and it will send them an email presentation already with an AI instructor that's going to show them every reason they should buy it, where to sign up, and to pay.
There you go.
And you know, you get paid from that. So
Easy.
That's basically
It doesn't even take any luck. It's just right
well,
there.
you just have to actually go and do it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we set up the system to be relatively turnkey and a way for, like, I'm just so sick of hearing people's excuses like, oh, Adam, it's too expensive. I can't afford it. Well, I didn't know it was $1,000 in fines and fees. I don't have $1,000 of fines and fees.
Mm,
Like, fix your problem. And most people's problems, Bo, in this whole American State National is monetary.
of course.
I would say
Well,
about 90% of
90.
people,
Yeah. It's up
90.
there.
Some
Yep.
people they're just dumb.
Mm,
Sorry, meaning got themselves into dumb trouble that they can't get out of. But
right.
even there, with the proper amount of money, you know, they could do a Trump meme quote.
Right.
But I'm joking.
Right. No, I got you. I got
know
you.
what
Well,
I'm
Heavenly
saying?
Father, I thank you so much for this time. I thank you for Adam. I thank you for everybody listening, that they would lean into the things that Adam's talking about when it comes to AI, and the things that we all need to learn to be beneficial in the world that we're currently living in. And I just thank you right now for this opportunity with Freemanbot and with Adam, and the things that are being shared here and on this platform. It's been a tremendous gift to all of us. And so I thank you. Everybody who's watching, please look into, pray about, and think about going to Cozumel, the 4th through the 7th in September. It'll be a tremendous blessing to you, absolute gift, and you will experience more and more and more for what God has in store for you, and the incredible benefit it is to have that time with Adam as well. He's an amazing man. God has gifted him with tremendous things, and I lost this, so I'm going to sign out. Love you all. Adam, we'll talk later.
Love you, bro.
Later, brother.